Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's affiliate marketing webinar with SEMrush. And today's guest is Mr. Robbie Richards. So we are live. It's midnight here in the UK. I'm not sure where you guys are in the world. Robbie's in Australia, hence the late start for me, early start for Robbie. But if you're in the audience and want to participate, we will be answering questions, taking your feedback and putting it to Robbie and all that kind of stuff. So we will be talking about driving traffic to your affiliate websites and using some of the ways that Robbie has used through his time doing a bit of affiliate marketing. And he has done some clever stuff. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. But before we do dive into things, Robbie, welcome to the show. It's always good to catch up with you. I've not seen you in person since Finland a few years ago. But yeah, it's always nice to catch up. So how is life in Australia? And for anyone who doesn't know you, Robbie, and you are very well known, but for anyone who doesn't know who you are, what are you doing with yourself these days? And are you still in Australia, actually?
Yeah, still here in Australia. Actually moved back from the US after about 13 years over there at the end of 2019. So living here in Australia now. And in terms of like what I'm up to, still doing some affiliate stuff, but as we were talking about the other day, still very much heavily client focused now. I run a search marketing agency that works primarily now with B2B SaaS companies, and that's been going really well. A lot of growth over the last couple of years. So very busy with client workload, and our team's been growing consistently. So everything that goes with onboarding and all that good stuff. But it's been a lot of fun. So doing that, I would say probably 3/4 of my time now is definitely it's the day job, so to speak, and then affiliate projects and a little bit of course stuff as well. Evenings, weekends, sort of the side hustle.
Side hustle,
yeah.
That's always good to keep the side hustle going and keep on top of things, courses and whatnot. I know you've done a lot of, well, not a lot of courses, but you've done a few courses in the last few years. What was involved in your courses? Obviously, I do courses as well, but I'm just curious to know what your courses. Obviously, I helped promote one of your courses in the past, where we had a little fight off with me and Gareth Dane a few years back. But no, just for anyone listening, what's involved in the courses that you're delivering?
Yeah, so the course that I've created so far, it's kind of like an expanding, ever-growing thing as I have time, but really it's teaching detailed step-by-step processes on how to essentially do very specific SEO deliverables. So whether that's working with a client, or if you're working even like in-house, or even on an affiliate website, for example. And right now there's 3 core sections in there: technical content audits, keyword research, and the other one is more geared towards like how to get quick wins for a site, which is really important for our agencies who, when you engage with a client and you're looking to show results in the first, say, 30 to 60 days, so you can build trust and get them onboarded and build a long-term relationship with them. So that's at the moment, but I'm working on some other modules at the moment that I'm hoping to release at some point around things like link building. But essentially the thing that separates this from a lot of programs is I don't just sort of go through some slides. I basically pick real life businesses and go from start to finish and implement those on those businesses. So you go from blank document to a finished deliverable or project at the end. And that's kind of how I like to teach, I guess. So yeah, anyway, that's a bit about that.
Yeah, interesting. I just wanted the audience to hear a bit about what you're doing, just for anyone who hasn't looked at your course before or whatever. Could be a great option for people out there who want to learn. There's someone saying Robbie's courses has helped me streamline a lot of things when I do client consulting, from SEO Video Show, who's a great guy who I'm sure you know. I don't know if you've been on that guy's show, but great show. There. But anyway, we have people from California, Craig Mullins is there, Western Australia, Victoria in Brazil. Hello. So we've got people all over the place here. So great to see you guys. But we will just dive into things, Robbie, and have a discussion on affiliate marketing, some of the ways that you've used. So obviously, in the first couple of episodes, guys, if you've missed them, we talked about an introduction to affiliate marketing, then we talked about niche research and various other bits and bobs. Today, we're going to be talking to Robbie about driving traffic to an affiliate website. So you get a website, or you build a website, or whatever it's going to be. The job is to make money. How do you drive traffic to it? And one story I do want to go back to, Robbie, before we go into actual affiliate stuff, it's kind of affiliate related, but when you were releasing your course previously, you decided to use other people, like myself and Gareth Dane, which I mentioned, had a little fight off to promote your course to our audiences. How well did that actually go? Is that an effective strategy for anyone out there to use other people's audiences to drive traffic to a website in general? Was that really a good option, or was it was okay, but there are better ways? I'm just curious to know.
Yeah, so I was fairly selective in who I chose to like help promote the course. Like I definitely wanted people who had relevant audiences. That's like the key thing, obviously, like people who have an audience who would actually be interested in that. But I would say that initial launch that I did, where you and Gareth and a couple other guys were helping, was actually really effective. As a percentage of course sales, I'd say that affiliates were probably 20-25% or so. So that was pretty meaningful on my first launch. And I'd spent quite a lot of time building a wait list and email. That was definitely the bulk of it. But to essentially just tap into some other people's audiences and generate an extra, 20-25% of sales than I probably would have gotten. I would say I was hugely successful. So.
And it's also from my point, or from my angle, let Robbie do all the hard work, putting a good course together, and just launch it to the audience and make affiliate commission. Relatively easy in my part, sending a few emails and shoving it out to social media or whatever. So it is a great option for both parties to do that. But going back to the actual affiliate model in general, obviously you decided to use that as part of your marketing strategy. But what other ways can we look at getting traffic to affiliate websites? It doesn't have to necessarily be SEO, because people here, they're for me, in my opinion, a lot of the people who watch these type of webinars and they're trying to get into affiliate marketing, they're trying to either build a side hustle, or they hate client work and they're trying to get away from that. But it's a more, it's something they've got on the side and they're trying to build up to a certain level. So obviously the quicker we can get traffic, the more sales we're going to get. But I'm just curious to know what your tricks or what angles you're thinking of, because we've all got different weird thought processes. So I'm just curious to know how you initially get traffic going to your affiliate sites.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess, there's a lot of different angles I could come at this from. So I'll go through some of the ones that have been more effective for me. And just as like a bit of a preface here, generally, I don't really do a lot of affiliate stuff with like Amazon and those types. I do more of with the sites that I've worked with, I've had just a handful of private affiliate programs that I've worked through. And so my whole goal, obviously, like you said, is to drive as much traffic as I can as quickly into those handful of products. And there's an element of that is SEO, right? So I'll go through sort of the SEO things that I've done. And then there's a couple other non-SEO strategies that I've used as well. So obviously the most immediate ones are, let me backtrack. Sorry. When starting an affiliate site, a lot of people focus on traffic, right? Like, so let's just get as much traffic as I can and I'm going to make more money. I've seen it personally with ones that I've tried and failed at. And the other people that I've spoken to where, traffic is, especially when it comes to the affiliate play, it's just not the be all end all. Instead of starting there and trying to find keywords and ones with the highest traffic and intent behind them and all that, start from the back, start and work your way back. So I'm going into this niche now that I've selected it. What are the top in my case, private affiliate programs that I can work through that ideally have the best commissions. And on top of that, are there any that offer recurring commissions? Those are the big ones that I look for. And then now that I have that 5 or 10 products, say, what topics or keywords am I going to be able to use to drive traffic into those the most? So then when I go to my keyword research process, I'm not looking at volume as much. I'm looking specifically at the topics that are most directly aligned that could actually drive traffic into those specific products, I guess. And from that, that's kind of like reverse engineering. But in terms of the actual keyword research part of it, obviously like your review-based content, that's like number one, right? Your best tools for industry or for use case or for, job type, whatever those are great ones to go after as well. Those are sort of the first pure affiliate-based topics that I go for. And the way that I find those really quickly is I do subfolder analysis. So a really quick example, like for someone who wants to go and implement this right now, is just go and have a look at the Wirecutter, right? You can go and take their website. They've got a reviews subfolder. You can put it in SEMrush or another keyword research tool and basically look only at the keywords in that reviews subfolder and then layer on additional keyword filters. So let's just say I've got a coffee affiliate website. I would put in the coffee keyword modifier on top of that subfolder and now be able to find all of their best coffee related terms, right? Which is going to be hundreds. And you can do that for any site in your space. And if there's no subfolders to reverse engineer, like there's no structure on the site, then just drop in their domain and search either by keyword or URL and search for best or top or review modifiers in those strings. And that's going to surface a bunch of topics. Do that for 5 or 10, 20 competitors, and you're going to have a nice list of those types of keywords to go after. So those are sort of like the initial ones. The third one, and one that like I see SEMrush and even like some sites in our industry like Ahrefs and other ones that do it fairly well, is writing tutorial, more top funnel based topics where they do get a lot more volume than like the best tools and review based keywords. But you want to position them in a way to where you're showing someone step by step how to do something. But as you're showing them how to do it, you're featuring that affiliate product in the use case or the working example. And so you're giving people lots of value, but you're also positioning this tool. And that's been effective for me too, because generally you can drive a lot more traffic through that way. And then, with recent algorithm updates and stuff too, it helps you not have a site that's just best tool for X product review. Like you have some how-to content and strategies and things like that, which is a good blend. So kind of rambling there, but those are 3 sort of SEO focused ones to start with, I guess.
No, I think they are all sensible, and obviously, reverse engineering subfolders is a great way to look at it. But you mentioned, a lot of people do the best this, the best that, and everything else. And you mentioned that, tutorial-based stuff also works well. If you were to advise someone in the audience asking something like, what converts better? Is it the best stuff? Because obviously you can get a lot of stuff tutorial-based. It's a lot softer sell and all that kind of stuff. Does it convert as well? I'm just curious to know what your thoughts are in terms of converting traffic, which type of keywords work out well for you.
Yeah, so in terms of conversions, the order, like of those pure, more affiliate-based ones, at least just from my personal experience, top converters are best tools posts. Second one is alternative or versus type content. And the other one, and then third would be the review-based content, at least from my experience, like direct product reviews for me, whether it's, I'm just not that great at writing them, I don't know, but they've been lower converting for me than the best of and alternative comparison type pieces. So yeah.
Just curious to know that. And whilst we're on the topic of talking about this, Tamiya Racing Mexico has asked, or basically said, backlinks and blogs are key in a strategy to drive traffic to the website or affiliate site. And also they are good to get quick results to show for a client. So would you say in terms of driving traffic to the affiliate website, obviously backlinks are important, as are our blogs and stuff like that, but I want to dig a bit deeper into that. So I'm going to forget about backlinks just now. We all know that people need an element of backlinks to power up a domain name, but what is your content strategy like? Because it's a question I get asked by a lot of affiliates. And for me, when I get a domain name or buy a website, whatever, my content strategy is quite aggressive. I'm hitting it, I'm doing a lot of research and hitting it very hard with a lot more content. What's your thoughts on content? Do you do a similar approach where you're just going, either get your team to do it or order a whole bunch of content? Do you slam it pretty hard at the start, or are you doing something different?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and to be honest, it's one that I've, it's dawned on me, I guess, more in recent years. And like when I first started with this type of stuff, because I did take a more dripped approach where I was like, I got my keywords. I'm just going to try and put out a few pieces a month that are really long form, and, go after those affiliate based pieces first. And, you do get like some steady growth, but I'm definitely lent way heavier to go as hard as you can right out of the gate now, because I don't know exactly what it is from a technical standpoint, but you just seem to get that like hockey stick exponential growth so much faster. Everything gets indexed, things are moving so much faster. And it's not even affiliate based. Like even with some of our, even some of the clients at the agency I work with, same type of thing. Like once we see those initial gains of the first couple pieces, it's just like, how do we scale up to 15, 20 plus pieces of content a month? And when we do that, it's a game changer. So definitely, as hard as possible. Like obviously there's budget constraints and things that people have to work with and resources and stuff, but I would say go as aggressive as you can right away. Yep.
I think for anyone out there who is suffering from budget constraints and stuff like that, if you've got your first affiliate website and stuff, you really do need to knuckle down and churn that stuff out as hard as you can. I think, Robbie mentioned, launching 5 pieces a month or something, and it will get you some steady growth. But what you do want is that hockey stick effect that you see everyone else in Facebook saying, hey man, look at me, I've went from, nothing to 10K a month in terms of traffic, or even better. And the only way you're going to get that is if you put your hand in your pocket and do give it some at the start. 2, 3, 4, 5 articles is just not enough. In my opinion, I see it as an investment. When I get a website, whether it's a website I inherit, buy, or whatever, that's the first thing. Slam it hard with the gaps. Even doing keyword gap analysis or whatever, using SEMrush and trying to find out who's winning, what they've got, what you've not got, and hit that hard. But I wanted to get your opinion on that. One other thing before I start getting into some of the questions we've got from the audience. You mentioned that you don't really do Amazon so much, and it's always been private affiliates. So for any of the audience out there who are maybe considering getting into the affiliate space, can you just give us an idea as to why you chose the private affiliates? By the way, for anyone listening, I would agree with them. So I'm just trying to find out for you guys, what was your reasoning though for going private rather than the general Amazon or some of the affiliate networks that are out there?
Yeah, so for me, it really just comes down to a return on time invested. And Amazon, for example, and granted, I honestly haven't done a lot with Amazon because it just seems like you're just so much at the whim of this machine that changes its policies and they give like pennies on the dollar commissions. So you need to drive massive traffic for a lot of these to make, in a lot of cases, like a decent amount of money. Whereas I originally even got started with the private affiliate programs. And for one, they just tend to offer more generous commissions. There's more opportunities to find reoccurring commission opportunities as well. And for me, like there's only a small portion of my time that like weekends, evenings and things where I'm working on affiliate sites. So I really need to be selective in like what space can I go into and what programs can I work with that'll help me monetize the content that I am able to put out there. And so privates have just always worked better for me, and I haven't had to deal as much with the red tape stuff that, like, I'm sure a lot of people have seen, like Amazon changing up how much they pay and different ways you have to label affiliate buttons and all that stuff. I don't want to deal with all that. So
Yes, it is hard work for the commissions that they pay, as you say. And a lot of people think Amazon's the be all and end all. I personally like the private model, and always I did actually start out doing affiliate through the likes of your same rushes and various other things, which have a lot healthier commissions than the 3% or whatever Amazon currently pays. So totally with you on that, but I just wanted to get your perspective and thought process. And I think it totally makes sense. Again, if you're tied up with a lot of, client work and you've only got evening weekends, you have to be selective to build that money up. You can't just bash out, stuff. You'll be there for years trying to make money with Amazon if you use that approach. But we have some questions here from the audience, which I'll dive into. We've got Derya, who's asking, what's the best way to start up an affiliate website? Or does it need to be a website at all? I see many people trying Instagram and Twitter instead of websites. So have you ever made any money not using a website as such?
For affiliates, no. Short answer. I've definitely heard of people who are, I've heard of some people, like I know, Craig, like you've got your YouTube channel that you do pretty well with. And I've also heard some other people who have tried to get more in the YouTube game, promoting some affiliate products and stuff through their content. And sounds like they're doing fairly well with that as well. But I don't really have much experience outside of, just your typical website approach. Yeah.
Let me just give you a bit of my thought on it there. I see people now on TikTok. Now, I'm on TikTok just to mess around and dance around like a clown because it's funny. But I actually see people that have good followings on TikTok who are doing affiliate. They're selling weight loss products, they're selling beauty products, they're selling merchandise and all of that kind of stuff. So anywhere there's traffic or a following, you can do it. And there is a lot of clothing brands and all that kind of stuff that basically all of their business comes through the likes of Instagram and stuff like that. So 100% you can, as long as you've got that audience. And as Robbie says, also YouTube, if I've got a bit of a following on YouTube, can I monetize it over and above the ads? Of course I can. So, just driving traffic to wherever I need that traffic to go to, and in order to make commission. So you don't always need a website. If you've got a platform there like TikTok or Instagram or whatever it may be, and you've got a following and all that stuff, you can make money relatively easy. So SEO, websites and all that kind of stuff are not the be all and end all of affiliate. Actually, one last thing, I spoke at an event late last year. It was an online event, and it was called something along the lines of Traffic Summit. And I was asked to go there and speak about SEO, because this was all just paid search guys who were doing affiliate. They were just investing. The big rich guys just invested purely in paid. They didn't even really know what SEO was, didn't believe in it. They'd all been robbed blind by, those SEOs who take a fortune and don't do much work. So, there's guys out there making money using a lot of different things. In an affiliate sense, some using paid, some using social media. But wherever there's traffic, there's money to be made. That's for sure.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just going to add on one little thing to at the end there. Like, it's not necessarily a website, but another sort of play that I've done to help with affiliate income is like my course, right? So like if you start an affiliate site, it doesn't just have to be like my personal blog is one example, right? Like I do some affiliate on that site for a small handful of tools that I personally do use, but then I created this course, right? And, it's not a super high ticket entry price, but it's not like low, right? Like you can get in there. I think last time I was selling it for about $500, like one-time fee, right? So people get in there, but because they've made that investment up front, they're invested in trying to learn this stuff and implement it. They're going to probably have a good crack at this stuff. And obviously the tools that I use through that course to implement the material, some of them are affiliate products, right? So as an extension of that, they've already invested, made that initial upfront commitment. So they're much more likely to convert and want to also use the same tools so that they can implement the material. So that's just another way that you can, as an example, through something like a course, you can also use that as an affiliate play as well. So just a side note there. That's just another thing I thought of. There wasn't specifically like a blog or anything. So
yeah, courses is another place where there's traffic, people going there, and you send them to the tools you use and get paid for it. It's always good. Next question we have is from SEO Video Show. Do check out this guy's channel, by the way. It is I don't like to do that, but this guy has some great guests on there. So, Paul, anyway, what are your thoughts on Google's new product reviews updates?
Yeah, I've been reading a little bit about that for sure. I was actually last night looking through some of the stipulations that they put in there. I think it's a good thing because, like anything, like SEOs cannot have nice things, generally speaking. So, you see something come out, or there's every approach tends to get worn, right? And you see a lot of these product reviews, like everyone's using a very similar template these days. So it makes sense that Google, as it's always trying to do, reward the highest quality content. Like people actually go the extra step, where they're getting actual experts in certain fields to like write the reviews. Or the thing that I liked too, and it's something that I personally try to do in my product reviews, is not just do hey, here's a feature dump that you can basically find on their website, but I break them down into sort of like hybrid review tutorial pieces where, I'm talking about their features, but within each of those feature sections, I go through and actually show step-by-step how to use the tool to do very actionable things. And so, I'm happy to see that they're like searching for more of that too, because I feel like by nature, like if you read a review, you want to come away like knowing specifically how you could use that to do something. So it's starting to reward more of that type of content. And I can't remember all the bullets. There's like 20 bullet points, but those were the two that stuck out to me. It kind of reminded me a little bit about this whole like EAT type thing too, right? Where you talk sites that are, medical and health-based sites where they're wanting experts to be writing the stuff with actual qualifications and things. So it seems like a little bit of that kind of coming across into writing product reviews. Are these people actually using the tools? So should we trust them, basically?
It makes sense. You can't have garbage on there. Google's got to find some kind of way to clean up some of the junk that's online. And obviously, like the medic niche, you couldn't have some random Joe or one of us or something writing stuff that was going to, be given medical advice. That's just insanity. You've got to have some kind of authority in that field. And I think, with reviews, it would also make sense for that to be the case, just to try and improve the quality out there and get rid of some of the garbage, so to speak, or people who are lazy or whatever. So, anyway, on to Milad Hashimi's question. What is the best and quick way to drive traffic to a new affiliate website while there are many websites out there that don't get traffic? So what would be the quickest, so I'm not too sure I understand that question fully, but if you've got a new affiliate website, Robbie, and you want money quickly, what is your first thing to do?
Yeah, so the thing that one strategy I used when starting one of my affiliate sites, again, I do it with a pretty small set of affiliate products. I was like, I'm going to pick one that has the best commission, and it was a reoccurring product. I was like, okay, I need to wait for these articles and things to kick in SEO wise. So how can I drive a large amount of traffic to not only monetize immediately, but also potentially long-term as well, right? And the way that I did that was with a giveaway. I used King Sumo, Noah Kagan's tool from the guys over at AppSumo. Anyway, used their tool basically, and then ran some ads And the way that those tools work for people who aren't familiar is you say, you got this product, I'm giving away an annual subscription to it. It's worth X dollars. You can get an entry by entering your email, and then for every time you share it on different social channels and networks, and if you refer people to it, you get additional entries in. The more entries you have, the better chance you have of actually winning the giveaway. It's kind of got that viral component baked into it. So I did run some ads on Facebook mostly to drive people into that and get people registering and sharing. And then I also reached out to a bunch of influencers in the space who I knew already had audiences and asked, if they'd be willing to share too. Couple I already had some connections with too, so it was a little bit easier that way, but they shared it around. And anyway, I was able to get some people in that way. And then it actually ended up going really well. This product was, fairly well known in the space I was working in. So a lot of those people started sharing it after I got the initial influx with ads. And I ended up getting, in 7 days, I think it was almost 1,200 emails through the giveaway. And I think I spent, I don't know, maybe $400 or $500 on ads. It wasn't anything crazy. It was a massive, but what I did with that is then I ran a secondary giveaway after the 7 days. I said, hey, this person won, but if you want a 6-month subscription, I'm going to run a secondary giveaway, and that's going to run for 2. So I got people sharing again, and it just kept growing and growing. And but then once it finished, what I did is I reached out and I said, hey, thanks so much. Like, this person or these people won, but I'm also willing to give. I lined up with the affiliate like a 30-day trial of this product for anyone who's interested. And I know that since they entered the giveaway, they were interested in that product. So they all got on all these trials, and then a percentage of those started converting. So I was able to monetize immediately, capture 1,200 emails that I was then able to segment by that product in my email list, that I could then promote specific content related to that product in the future and monetize even more. So that was one way I did it. I used a giveaway. And then that's probably the most effective one I've used. I've used some ads as well, but generally I try and just go really hard with the content. And then, within 60 to 90 days, I start getting some traction with that. But it does take a little bit of time, like if you're starting from scratch to get that. And I know that's why, Craig, you can probably talk a bit more about this than me, but like people generally buy websites that are already making some sort of commission or income and then just monetize them better. That's like a really fast way. If you have the capital to do that, it's probably even better. So I'll leave it at that.
You don't want to, well, I've been there, I've done it from scratch, but if you can hit the ground running and get something that already has rankings, has traffic, and you can monetize it better or scale it up, add a good content strategy there or whatever, that's the angle I go in at. But but as Robbie says, there's paid things, giveaways, whatever, trying to get people in, use influencers. Data is really the key. Robbie obviously done his giveaways, but he's collecting emails and stuff like that. So if he was to potentially launch something similar down the road, he's collecting data all the time and collecting emails and all that kind of stuff. And I think obviously the more data you have, the more people you can drive to a website through either retargeting, mailing lists, push notifications, or anything like that. So, that's what your long-term plan has to be, is, data is the key to all of the success out there. But talking about private affiliates, SEMrush do have an affiliate program, which is in the chat there, where you can earn $200 for every new sale. And even if you couldn't push a sale, you can earn $10 for every new trial activation. So you tell people about it, whether you train people or whatever, then you can even get $10 for every new trial activation. So do check that out. The link is in the live chat. If you're interested in looking for a private affiliate, SEMrush is a great place to start. But back to another question we've got from Tamia, is talking about social media, using these channels to promote traffic to your affiliate site to complement the lack of written content. Is that a good idea while you get some quality content for the website? So would you use social media while you were getting your content written, Robbie? If you had a following, of course, in that particular space.
Yeah, probably. So definitely like just organically sharing it out and all that good stuff. One thing that I did even on my personal blog, for a few of the like tool-based pieces, how I approach those, and it kind of relates to the previous question as well, like driving traffic before things are ranking, is I baked in social engagement into those posts by like the tools that I was talking about. It wasn't necessarily like, hey, I think these are the best tools. I would actually reach out to other people who were running agencies or in-house SEO teams or people who had like a lot of industry experience, and getting their opinion on the tools and basically aggregating, how many votes different tools got. And then obviously once that post goes live, I've got like a leaderboard at the top that features some of the tools that came out as the most commonly voted ones. And some of those might be affiliate products. And then these people share it, right? And then that bakes in social engagement. And then I go and mention all those people on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook when I'm publishing that content, right? And I know that's maybe not as applicable in every affiliate space, but specifically like in the SEO affiliate niche, I think it's a very applicable one. But in terms of buying ads or paying for ads, social to drive traffic to affiliate, I would only consider doing that if you're making like really good commissions on your sales, like higher ticket. Like I think like a space that I've seen like is the higher ticket B2B software products, right? Like you can maybe spend $50 to drive traffic and have one of those people convert, and then they stay on for a few months. You're making money that way. But if it's just like something Amazon based where you're making cents on the, probably not. Wouldn't do that because your ROI is either not going to be there, it's going to take forever to get it back. So
it's but one key part that you said there was you were leveraging other people, writing content and their followings and mentioning them and tapping into all of that kind of stuff. It's that thinking outside the box approach you need to have. Regardless of what niche you're in, you just need to find a way to get some leverage and climb the ladder. If you've got no money, no budget for things or whatever, you're just going to have to try and do similar to what Robbie's done. Obviously, it's very easy in the SEO space to leverage other people's audiences and all that kind of stuff. Just ego bait people and whatever. There's so many ways that you can get influencers and people involved, and start to take advantage of their following. But you need to think outside the box. There's always a way to bend the rules slightly. Well, not bend the rules, you're not doing anything wrong, but you need to think like a marketer. You just cannot think, how do I? You just need to say, to hell with this. Let's, let's just go out and do this. And I like that strategy that Robbie uses, because it's not just then coming from you, Robbie. You are using other people who have trust and authority in an industry. And if they're saying it as well, and they're all going to your affiliate link and everyone's sharing it and their audience is sharing it, then yeah, it's a smart move.
Yeah, and just like today too, right? Consumers are becoming so much more smarter. They're clued in. They know like if you write an article with the best tools and it's just like your opinion, obviously it's all going to be your affiliates. But if you can bake in the third party opinion, it makes it so much more trustworthy because they're essentially just testimonials at that point. So typically the conversion rate, if you are able to bake in some element of social proof like that, and it doesn't need to be a roundup, for example, like it could be a tutorial or featuring tools, and then for a handful of them reaching out to someone in your space that does have an audience and just getting a quote from them about the tool to support that. Might only be a few of those, but if they have big audiences, they can just seed a little bit of engagement for you that way, which can help conversion and just giving it some legs right out of the gate. So
yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I love all that stuff. Outside the box thinking is vital in this game. But Michael Gentili is asking, so going back to the content question, so we both kind of agreed that an aggressive content strategy was good. But Michael is asking, is there a point of diminishing returns on the number of pieces of content per month? So how much is too much? Or is that even a thing? If you had the budget, an endless pot of money there, or you just say you were doing it for SEMrush, for example, who have budget for content and all this stuff, would you still cap a figure on there of like 50 a month, or would you just go wild? And if there was room to add 200 a month, would you go and do that?
Yeah, so I would just let my basically my keyword research dictate. So what I try to do once I come out of that initial phase is have a pretty good idea. Like obviously, like new opportunities will come in and out over time, but have some ballpark figure, like what is the content footprint of this site I'm trying to get to. And in a lot of cases, it might only be 50, 60, 70 posts on a site for like, that's kind of like sort of the size that I'm generally working with, which I know is a smaller site, but again, resource constraints and stuff, that's generally how I like to kind of go with. So at that point, it's like, how how many articles can I publish a month based on my budget, right? Like, so it all comes down to your budget. If you can publish 200 a month, then just do all 80 month one, right? But if you can only spare 2 or 3 articles a month, like if you're outsourcing the content, but once you hit that cap, where you can definitely ramp down and then say, okay, like I'm finding an opportunity or 2 here a month, but on top of my footprint, so just do that, and then by that point hopefully you should be monetizing, and that can just pay for that. And that's how I would approach it. I would say, yeah, there is a diminishing return. It varies a lot depending on your space. So you could have hundreds or even thousands of pages on a site potentially, or only a few dozen. It varies so widely, but yes, once you hit that cap, I scale down to just what can I use to cover the new opportunities, and then maybe there's no more content that needs to be put into it. So where do I put those dollars now? Like maybe I've got a bunch of content that's like middle of page 1 that I need links to. Okay, my budget's going to go way better pushing these handful of potentially high value assets up. So I'll start putting it there. Yeah.
I'll give you a quick story on something as well, just to give you a bit of perspective or something else to think about, Michael. So Robbie, you'll remember Harsh Agarwal from India. So we were in Milan a couple of years ago, and we were just talking, we're just having a bit of a laugh about our websites and our followings and everything. And I know Harsh is a big deal in India, but I didn't really dig deep into his website. And I had something like 250 blog posts on my website at the time. And I thought I was doing well, and I was churning out a lot of content. And I had a look at Harsh's website, so I went to Sitemap, and I'm like, "Fuck, this dude's got like 2,500. He's 10 times more than me." So I left Milan, and I came back, and I thought I just felt like just a rookie. So I came back, went into the office, and said, "Right, man, content every day, bang, 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 bang." Put out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of articles. Now, I'd done that for like a year solid. I'm talking about articles for anything, Twitter, how to do this, how to do that. There was loads of stuff. Now, analysing all of that content, probably about 5%, maybe 10% of those pages actually got traffic, because the content strategy was too aggressive. We weren't doing it properly, and it was all based on high volume and ego and trying to beat guys. I wasn't running every piece of content through something like Surfer or POP or anything like that. I just had this thing in my head of a figure and going, right, well, if that guy's got all of that, I want some of that, and just bang, bang, and the quality went away down. And it was just a complete waste of money, because literally, 90% of the content that I had put out in the last year has been thrown in the bin or merged or pruned or flung off or whatever, So I think, there's only so much quality in terms of, doing a process and stuff like that you need to do. So there will be a figure. You don't want to do it like me, where it was a gung ho approach. I'm going to beat Harsh. I want to be have as many pages as Harsh has and all that stuff. It was just the wrong approach. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a, Robbie said one thing, and I've said, I have an aggressive content strategy, but mine was too aggressive on my own website, and it was all because my head was all over the place, and I was just, thinking of high volume numbers, the quality I wasn't even caring about. So that was the metric that we were going for in-house, which was a massive failure. So I don't mind admitting that. But got other questions. Becky, we're an affiliate for iGaming and sports betting in the US. Many competitors are illegal. How can we compete with the massive amounts of dollars they spend on advertising? So everyone kind of knows that in that particular industry, which I do work in. Anyway, they do bend the rules quite a lot, and they spend a lot of money, and you just got to fight the good fight, in my opinion. If it works for them and they're using an illegal approach or black hat approach or whatever you want to call it, I think in certain industries that is tolerated more, if I'm being honest, by Google. Is Google really going to penalise these websites that have also spending millions of pounds on paid? It absolutely doesn't. So how would you suggest that these guys compete with the massive amounts of money that these guys are spending on there? You either got to fight them or just cower up and take a beating. That's the only way, I think, in my opinion. But what's your thoughts, Robbie?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really have much direct experience in that sort of space. But one thing that I think of is, they're spending a lot of ads, I'm guessing, gobbling up some of the more, highly monetized terms. But is there a segment where they're ignoring it, where there is some monetization potential in it, where maybe they're not even targeting it from an SEO standpoint? Where you can just kind of scrape a little bit off? Because, like Craig said, if they're playing that game and you've either got to get in there yourself, I'm guessing, otherwise they're just going to wipe the floor with you in that respect. So I'd be looking for any fringe opportunities personally. Again, I don't have a lot of experience with that whole space. And when you say illegal too, I'm not sure exactly what illegal means. Is it actually illegal or is it black hat? I'd probably stay away personally from anything that's considered illegal.
Yeah. No, I think what they're basically saying is, black hat practices and stuff are used. People are using PBNs and all of that stuff, and that's just the way it goes in that niche. If you're not, you ain't competing. That's the way I've perceived that to be. I'm not sure how an iGaming or sports person would be illegal, because there's a lot of paperwork, but and stuff like that needed in that space. So I think I'm going to take it as black hat. And if you're not bending the rules in that niche, then you're not really playing the game. I don't think a kind of white hat approach works in that space, to be honest. But it is what it is. But they're saying they produce 6 original articles per week. We promote our affiliate partners illegal in the US. Again, there's always going to be a way around it, depending on where these people, although they target the US, are they based? They're offshore operators, not legal in the US. It's a difficult one, because I'm sure, people, it's hard for me to comment on illegal practices, but, people do set up companies to be in certain places and do certain things to be able to kind of bend those rules, to so to speak. Certainly, I couldn't condone doing that kind of thing. I certainly wouldn't want to advise on anything to do with that. You just got to fight the good fight and try and beat them. Either on a paid or an SEO strategy. You've got to come up with doing something, and obviously six articles a week. You've got, and as Robbie says, just look for fringe opportunities. If you you're struggling for the skill set or the budget or whatever to try and compete for the higher search terms. But certainly, I wouldn't be breaking the law to try and beat these guys. That's certainly not something we can really comment on. But we have another question. We'll come back to your last question in a minute, Becky. Chris Goldsmith, what are your thoughts on AI content writing platforms? Are you using any, or do you think they're any good? Have you played around with any at all, Robbie?
A little bit, not a lot, but I don't know. I haven't had great experience with it. I still find it requires quite a lot of editing. But again, some of the spaces I'm in, like affiliate articles and things, like you need like really good content. I don't really have affiliate sites in spaces where you can kind of churn out relatively weak articles and rank. So I really need high quality content, and the AI stuff hasn't hit the mark for me yet, just with a little bit of playing around that I've done so far. I'm generally just contracting writers and, like writers that are typically charging 20 cents a word in most cases, just because there's a little bit more subject matter expertise in those areas. So the AI stuff hasn't really worked for me, but I don't know, Craig, if you've tried any of that in any of the spaces you're in.
I have tried it, but again, I would probably echo what you say. I don't think it's where it needs to be at this stage. I'm sure eventually it will probably do some good stuff, but as you say, if it needs heavily edited and stuff like that, sometimes it's easier just to keep doing it the way that's working for you just now, and paying the right rate for that content. But of course, some of the spaces I work in, or if I'm doing mass page websites or lead gen websites, we can use paraphrasing tools, spinning tools, and mass page builders and everything to try and cut those costs down, and go after weaker areas and stuff like that where duplicate content's not such a big thing and all that kind of stuff. So it depends on what you are trying to achieve. Duplicate content, people say can never have duplicate content. I can show you many weak niches where duplicate content does work and you simply change out the area. So AI content will probably work for some people in similar niches like that, but as you say, Robbie, when you're working in something that's getting a bit of competition and stuff, nothing's going to beat a human being just writing good quality content. Not for me at the moment anyway. Nothing beats a human being. So but fingers crossed it does come out, because it would be great for everyone to to use such a platform if it produced the quality that we all need. But going back to Becky, we're not promoting illegal operators. The competition is promoting illegal offshore operators. We're licensed by many states and can't risk our licenses. Back to that one. Do not risk your license at all. As I say, I wouldn't be operating in any kind of illegal activity. There's more to life than looking over your shoulder and losing your licenses and all that stuff. So, but if guys, do you have any other questions? We do have 6 minutes left, so do put them in the chat. But Robbie, just going back to the private affiliate stuff that you do, obviously as a digital marketer, an SEO guy and all that kind of stuff, has it always been private affiliates in that space you've looked at? Have you done anything like, if you ask me, like as an affiliate marketer who dabbles in a lot of stuff, I've had golf websites, I've had all sorts of websites that, have been in niches that I don't even have an interest in. Just curious to know your angle. Has it always been like SEO things that you promoted, or have you dabbled in anything that, is not SEO related?
Yes, I have tried dabbling in a couple other spaces that aren't SEO focused. I do tend to pick niches that are software based, not necessarily SEO, but other, just because they again, going back to like my previous comment, like biggest return on time, right? So are there spaces where there's these reoccurring products that offer reoccurring commissions at a high rate that don't look super competitive from an SEO standpoint? They're the ones that I tend to go into, whether or not I know anything about the software or I'm passionate about it or whatever it is. Those are the ones I look for the most. I've tried actually the golf niche myself because I have quite a golf background. That's kind of been a big part of my life for a long time. But I got into that and I didn't kind of run with it as long. I kind of delved, I guess, but didn't do as much work as I needed to get it off the ground. So it kind of stalled out on me. And part of that too was, and this is a while ago now, but I was looking at Amazon opportunities to promote there. I wasn't necessarily looking at the private ones. And that was part of my problem because I was looking at how much money I could potentially make in this space and how much content you need to put out in order to monetize. As I'm sure you know, the return on time wasn't there for me. So that's probably the non-software based one I've been into, so not too much.
So what I was going to lead up to, and you've kind of said it already, would you enter a niche you didn't have passion or knowledge in? Does that phase you at all? If there's money to be made, keyword research on, I don't know, wooden doors or something, you would quite happily take that if the search volume was there and the commission was right. You don't feel that you have to know the industry. Would that be your advice?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I definitely don't think you need to be passionate about a niche to essentially it's a business, right? And the way I think of affiliate sites or any sort of real SEO strategy, it's a process, right? You essentially go through the same process no matter what. So if you can dial in that process and then fill the different parts with other people, especially if you can have some resources to work with, like you don't have to write the content. If you have someone who can help outline and write the content, and then if you have someone who can help with link building, just run it through the process. You don't need to be passionate. Now, I do understand if you're starting out bare bones first foray, like you're probably going to be trying to write some of the content yourself to get off the ground, then maybe, yeah, you want to pick something that you're not going to like want to pull your eyes out writing about every day. But that would probably, apart from that though, yeah. Even if you have no interest at all, generally speaking, just run through the process. And then once you find one, just keep doing it.
Yeah. That's kind of my approach as well. I know other people will advise you to go into something you have a passion for. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but you really don't need it. I see it as an investment opportunity. And if the search volume and everything's there, I don't even necessarily have to like the product or anything like that. I know what it takes to rank a website, and whether that's golf clubs or wooden doors or leather chairs or whatever, it really makes no difference to me. So a lot of guys always debate what niche will I go in, and does it have to be something that I'm interested in? And I watch a lot of affiliate stuff, and I obviously get asked a lot of questions, but I agree with you. Just it's a process, and you can literally do it for anything. I've done it for some weird stuff, so I won't go into too much of that stuff. But we have Timothy Jones asking a question. I'm a published author, but also have an affiliate program for audiobooks. What kind of content strategy would you tackle for this, since I mainly have an author website, not an affiliate website? He's not the affiliate, but he has an affiliate link. So do you think that surely there's still going to be room for that, Robbie? What kind of content strategy would you use to promote audiobooks?
Yeah, so my first thing that I would look at is, I'm not sure of the topic of this book, but are there any people that are writing, there's all these lists where they write like top X books on Y topic, right? And in some cases, there's a lot of traffic that goes through to those. So are there any opportunities where you can reach out to those lists that are already ranking for those types of terms and getting yourself featured on them? Because that can just be an immediate way to get like referral traffic through your affiliate link. And in instances where I've tried this, some of the sites will want money. So you like, I actually ran into this recently where a site wanted a certain amount of money each month to be position 1 on the top of this list that was ranking for a bunch of traffic. But it seemed like it was probably worth a test because ranking number 1, I figured probably was driving about 1,000 clicks through that link each month. So if you only get a small percentage of those, again, reoccurring commission type opportunity, then it's going to pay for itself probably in 1 or 2 months, and the lifetime on those is probably a lot longer than that. So that's one thing that just popped out of my head. Like, are there any existing things you can piggyback on like that? There might be, I don't know, is there opportunity to like maybe guest post on, say, I actually probably won't be able to do that because it's an affiliate link, so never mind. Probably wouldn't want that. I don't know. That's one I can think of. Anything on your end, Craig?
It's a difficult one without knowing the full situation there. But what I'd be looking to is leverage other authors and stuff like that. Their names, whatever it might be, interviews with these guys, podcasts with these guys, and slap your affiliate link in there. Whatever, you've got to kind of authority jack, if you like, on other people's authority. Your more well-known authors and book titles and all that kind of stuff, but and try and get your affiliate link in there. But as I say, it's very hard to say without knowing the ins and outs of what you've got, but hopefully that's given you some food for thought, Timothy. But before we do wrap up, first off, remember it's the last thing in the chat, join the SEMrush affiliate program where you can get that $200 for every person that signs up, and £10 or $10 for every new trial activation. But before we do wrap up, Robbie, obviously, thank you very much for coming on and sharing your experience. If people out there like what they've said, or maybe interested in seeing your course, or just want to reach out to you, where is the best place to find you?
Yeah, I'd say the best place to contact me would just be on my personal website, which is just my name, robbierichards.com. So that'd probably be the best one.
Check out Robbie there, and thank you very much, Timothy. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully everyone else has enjoyed it. Make sure you do give the video a like, and as I say, check out robbierichards.com for his course and everything else that Robbie's done. He is doing some good stuff, always has done, and I'm sure always will do. So thank you very much for taking the time to come on, Robbie, and share your insights with us. And we will catch you all again in the future, where we will have another guest talking more about affiliate marketing. Do check out all the other cool SEMrush webinars that are up and coming, and continue to learn and develop your knowledge. So thank you, everyone. We will catch you soon, and hopefully catch up with you soon as well, Robbie.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.